feet or something. And I remember that when the penny really dropped for me was some years ago, and someone said to me, you know, these different levels, you know, they're not like chest of drawers, they share the same space. Penny drop. You start to see how these things work, because in the space that my body is occupying now are all the wavelengths of all the frequencies of all the radio stations, television stations, telecommunications equipments broadcasting to this area. They can't see each other, and we can't see them. To them, to each frequency, they are the only one that exists. But if you get a radio and you tune it to one of those frequencies, then to the radio at that time, that is the only frequency in creation. That is its reality, just as we look around, and this is our reality. But if you move the dial on the radio, suddenly another station, another wavelength becomes its reality. And on the level of our consciousness, the thinking, feeling us, this series of energy fields that animates and works through the physical form, the genetic spacesuit, as I call it, which we use to experience this physical world, we are tuned at that level at any point in our evolution to one of creation's infinite number of wavelengths. At the moment, we're all tuned to this one, so this is our reality. But at the moment we call death, the consciousness withdraws from the physical form and moves on to another wavelength and continues its evolution.
We're all unique. This uniqueness is broadcast out as a magnetic electrical pattern. For me, everything that exists is magnetic electrical energy. So when people talk about hands-on healing, you get, it's the devil. Or, bloody strange, mate, load of rubbish, mumbo jumbo. What is hands-on healing? It's not faith healing, it is the passing on of electrical magnetic energy from one person to another. It's kind of interesting. I was reading a book recently called Where Science and Magic Meet, which was showing the scientific basis of the so-called paranormal. And it was pointing out that of the 285 standing stone circles in the United Kingdom still remaining, 235 are on the same types of rock, and they're all on or close to faults in the Earth's surface that produce a certain electromagnetic field. Of course, the ancients didn't know what they were doing, did they? You know, because we're state of the art now. So we're putting out this magnetic pattern which is unique to us. It is our sense of self. It is our sense of reality. There's an American comedian called Bill Hicks who summed up my whole attitude to life and everything really, and what I'm talking about here, in a wonderful line. He said, matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration. We're all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There's no such thing as death. Life is just a dream, and we are the imagination of ourselves. And that for me is the key phrase. We are the imagination of ourselves. What we imagine ourselves to be is what we create as a physical experience, second by second by second. This magnetic electrical pattern going out we call vibes. You know, we have everyday expressions and words for this. We say, oh, I don't know what it was about that fella, mate. You know, I had a nice conversation, but got bad vibes from him somehow, because the voice to ear conversation may have been quite pleasant, but there's something we're picking up on a subatomic energy level which doesn't sync. Get bad vibes, mate. We have a word which we use all the time, atmosphere. What is atmosphere? Atmosphere, energy field of a room that has been turned to be negative, exciting, or positive, or happy, or whatever, by the thought patterns, the vibes, the imagination of themselves, of the people involved. People go into an old house where there may be a lot of negative events, or they go to the site of an ancient battle, and they go, ooh, tell you what, mate, oh, it's eerie here, oh, don't like it here, something about it. We're picking up the energy, negative in that case, that has been created in that state by the vibes, the thought patterns of people who have gone through negative events there. Atmosphere, football matches, sports occasions. You could touch the atmosphere, mate. The excitement was amazing. What is excitement? What is this atmosphere? It is what people generate on this vibe level. Often, what we draw to us are things we don't like initially. You know, I want to be spiritual, I want to be all existence and all that stuff. and then you put out that intent, and the intent says, okay, this is what you need to achieve that. And invariably at the start, in the early stages, what we need to achieve that is to break down the old construct based on our beliefs and our emotional states and our mental states and our perceptions. So we draw things into our life that we don't like, pains in the backside, things going wrong, things we don't like, and what it's doing is breaking down this old construct so the new one can emerge and you can achieve what that intent wants, which is transformation. And so many people, they put out that intent, and then what comes towards them is all this stuff, and they go, well, I'd like to transform, but not that badly. Thank you very much. And away they go to the old life. And then they'll say, you don't create your own reality because I wanted to do it and nothing happened. No. When the things came towards you to help you achieve it, you ran away because you didn't want to go through it. And intent will draw to you what you need to achieve the intent, not necessarily what you want to achieve the intent. And I have this saying from personal experience. Life gives you your greatest gifts, often brilliantly disguised as your worst nightmare. And I experienced that in the early 90s to the mid-90s when my world fell apart and I couldn't go anywhere in Britain, sometimes further afield, without being laughed at by most of the people. The comedian only had to say my name, no joke necessary, and the audience were laughing. I'd stop at the traffic lights, I'd look across, the family in the next car were laughing. Now, that seems a terrible thing, and in the experience of it, it wasn't pleasant. But what did it do? It cleared me of the prison that most people live in, the fear of what other people think. Because when you go through that level of ridicule, you either transform and go beyond it, or you end up in the corner shaking and it's all over. Stop making excuses. You know, the human mind, because it doesn't want to change, it doesn't want consciousness to become the governor of perception. It wants to hold on to its power base, and it will make endless excuses why we should not do what is necessary to become conscious and bring mind into line. It will find endless reasons why we shouldn't do things we'd rather not do, but really we feel we need to do them, so we'll find an excuse why we can't do it. We'll find an excuse why, oh no, there's a big game on this week, so I'll wait till next week, and then I'll wait till the next week. And nothing ever changes, because we're making excuses not to change. I really want to change, honest, but not this week. And we can stop making excuses for looking the other way when freedoms, basic freedoms, are being taken away. And crucially, humanity, human race, can get off its bloody knees. We have been down there in so many different forms all the way through this period of slavery, and the reason overwhelmingly we've been through this period of slavery is because we found it so easy to get on our knees. We need to stop looking up at anything and start looking everything in the eye, because nothing is greater than we are, and we are no greater than anything else, because we are all in the end the same consciousness. Martin Luther King: a man cannot ride your back unless it's bent. There's only one thing you really need to know. Infinite love is the only truth. Everything else is illusion.